So, before we get started, I want to go ahead and give like a special shout out to someone who's helped this channel grow by so much just for what they did. So, as you can see, I have an overlay now. This pink thing behind me, yeah, that is incredible. It makes you don't have to look at a background that's just a picture anymore. I have an overlay and I can do stuff with that now. And it's all thanks to my dearest friend Allie. So go ahead and follow them. Very talented, very work girl core. Love her. Best character in life. Thank you so much, Allie, for this wonderful overlay. Like, look at this. Look at the bears. Do you see the bears? There's like bears in it. That's so cute. Let me ask you something. What do you think is the best Christmas movie of all time? If you picked any of these movies, I'm here to tell you something. You're wrong. Because you see, all those movies you thought were good pale in comparison to the #1 Christmas movie of all time, hands down, never been touched ever. The Grinch. Specifically, The Grinch from the year 2000. That's right. A year before 2001, a year after 1999. Specifically, The Grinch 2000. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don, what the hell are you talking about? Nobody likes The Grinch, especially not the live action one. Well, I'm here to tell you that once again you are wrong. Do you feel anything for being that wrong? Because The Grinch, just even before all this, The Grinch as a character, as a whole, is one of the most loved characters of all time. My source happens to be me. I know that. I'm the one that made that up. It isn't an obvious fact for most people because they don't know what love is. Love is the Grinch. Well, not really him per se. He's a very hateful, spiteful thing. But love is learned by the Grinch. He learns love. And that's the main point of the story. It's not about Christmas. It's not about the Who's. It's not about the Whatsits and the Weezoos. It's about the Grinch learning how to love. If you think that is a mischaracterization of this whole story, again, this is your 3 for 3 right now. You are wrong. Picture it. A snowflake. 1970 something. I promise I know the date that first show came out. The Grinch is on the tower. Well, not the tower. He's on a mountain. And he's looking down on the Who's of Whoville. And he's just like, oh, I hate those Who's. I hate when they do the Christmas. I hate when they do every holiday, actually. Turns out we only celebrate Christmas, but ooh, I hate when they do all that. He's always up there griping and groaning about whatever the Who's are doing. And he just, actually, now that I think about it, why am I telling you this story? Everybody knows this story. He plots and schemes, steals Christmas, finds out Christmas, you don't need all the boobahs and who's-its and what's-its of Christmas. You always have Christmas in your heart. He learns that. And then his heart grows 3 sizes that day. He learns the warmth and joy of loving and being connected with others. And that's why he goes back to Whoville. He gives them all their stuff back, despite the fact they don't need it. But he gives them all them stuff back. And then he celebrates Christmas with the Who's. And he cuts the roast beast. And everyone has a good time. The end. Very simple story. In fact, the original is only 30 minutes long. But one Mr. Ron Howard said, you know what? No, I don't think the story is just as simple as that. I don't think the Grinch was up in that mountain by himself for no reason. And then he decided, let's concoct something, let's get something going. We're gonna go ahead and make a whole backstory for the Grinch. We're going to make a whole world for the Grinch. And because of that, Grinch 2000 was born. Now, this movie, I might have to actually explain a little more. So, same concept. The Grinch is still up in the mountain. However, you actually start from the Who's perspective. You find out they're super obsessed with Christmas, and all they think about is Christmas. They count down the days until Christmas, and then as soon as Christmas is over, they start the countdown right again. Like, it's not 25 days of Christmas for them, like with the Hallmark thing. No, it's like 364 days without Christmas. They need to tell you up until the minute, up until the second when Christmas is coming back. But it's interesting that you start from their perspective, because you then are supposed to connect to them. Like, with the original, it felt like they were distant. You knew the Grinch hated them. It was all from the Grinch's perspective. You knew he hated them. But, you just felt like, it's kind of weird that he just hates them for no reason. But in this movie, you kind of start to see it, because they've become so materialistic, so just obsessed with getting more, that when you go back and try and figure out what the Grinch is doing, you realize, maybe he hates Christmas for a reason. Hey, editing Dawn here. So, going back through this video, I recorded this at 2 a.m. by the way. Going back through this video, this part in particular makes me sound like an idiot. He does tell you why he doesn't like Christmas. In fact, it's an extensive detail that he does not like Christmas. But I think I mean more like, why is he making it everyone else's problem? That's what I mean. You can hate Christmas by yourself. You don't have to bring other people into it. It's like you can't not agree with him. Especially when, even in the original, they point out that, the Who's are always making noise, and they get all these gifts and stuff. But the movie takes it a step further. Because at one point, the Grinch does come down to see what's going on. He's in the town before he even puts on the, costume, like the Santa costume. And you just see him going about town, interacting with people, realizing that they don't really pay him any mind. They never realize that he's wearing, a fake Who costume. They just assume he's another consumer ready to buy the Christmas gifts, ready to buy the decorations, ready to buy the food, all this stuff. They don't see him as a person. And to be fair, he's not really being one. He's disguised as one of them. So it's interesting how they just let things pass them by, because it has nothing to do with selling. The one time that someone stops him on the street and actually engages with him, it's to tell him that he needs to go buy something in this store. And that is the point when the Grinch burps in the guy's face and kills him. But it's after this whole thing that we are first introduced to Cindy Lou Who and her family. Many people know that Cindy Lou Who actually does show up in the original story. And she even shows up in the 2018 one, but we don't talk about that one because it sucks. But she's there. And, I'm not even going to say for some reason, they decide to give her more, character, flesh her out a little bit. Turns out she's also tired of Christmas. She's tired of the consumerist, ideals, and she's tired of being pulled around and told that she's supposed to care about Christmas, even though she really doesn't. And she's honest with her father, who she is with in town, who happens to be a postman. They are making up a lot of shit. But she's just honest with him and says, yeah, I'm not feeling Christmas. Do we have to do this all the time? And the dad doesn't get it. He doesn't even consider the fact that somebody may not be into Christmas. So he's just like, huh? What? Just drink some eggnog and get over it, kid. And they go to the post office where he works, which happens to be when Cindy Lou Who the only one who notices him meets the Grinch. So, antics ensue. You know, they see each other. She's screaming. He starts screaming. Then they do that thing where she's just like, "You're the," and then he's like, the Grinch. You know that one. They had ads for it the whole time. You remember. There's no way people younger than like 15 are gonna watch this. You remember that ad. But basically, he's causing issues, obviously. He's trying to wreck shit, and she catches him wrecking shit. And you know what? He's considering murder. So he just basically lets her die. He almost lets her die. Okay, he saves her. He saves her when she screams too hard and accidentally falls into a gift wrapping machine. Like, all the gifts are already wrapped, but they're sending them off and they crush every present that they're sending off with a stamp that says fragile. It's a simple joke, but when I was a kid, that really did get me. I thought that was funny. So he saves her from narrowly getting crushed by that fragile stamp. And she is so moved by this that she's just like, "You saved me. Wow. Thank you." And he's immediately like, "I didn't save you. I just forgot to wrap you." And he proceeds to wrap her up. And the dog, I forgot to mention, the dog is with him. You know Max. Max the dog. The dog is just like, "Man, I don't know about all this." The dog talks in this movie, by the way. He's just like, "Man, I don't know about all this. This is some crazy shit." And the Grinch is like, "Don't worry about it. Let's just go." So they leave, and Cindy Lou is just wrapped up, just screaming for help. The dad comes in, and instead of being like, "Hey, honey, are you okay? This looks like a dangerous situation. What happened?" Cindy Lou tries to tell him what happened, and he's just like, "Oh, you were practicing your gift wrapping. That's the holiday spirit." And it's like, okay. So my point of like doing that part is the fact, I just want to emphasize how they do not give a shit about anybody in Whoville. They don't care what happens to you in Whoville. Like, this dad didn't even care that his daughter almost died, for real. Now we start to see more of the Who's world being built. You know, I believe his name is Lou. Lou Who, that is the that is the dad. And Cindy Lou come home to the mom. I want to say her name is Mary something, but it's not. It's not Mary something. I don't remember what her name is. Hold on, I gotta think. Nope, I don't remember her name. But she's the Mom Who, and she's decorating her house with every light she can find. At one point, she's using lights from the refrigerator, from the hall. Like, every light is going on the house. There are no lights in the home. And at one point, I have to be honest with you, the most beautiful Who in the world steps out of her home. And she, oh my God, she is gorgeous. Martha May Whovier is the most just in general, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life. It was an honor to see her step out of her home, tip her hip a little bit, and then just go, "Betty! Hi!" Her name is Betty. Betty Lou Who, that's her name. Betty Lou Who is just entranced instantly. She's just like, "Oh, Martha! Hi!" And Martha May is just like, "Betty, your lights, they're so beautiful." "Yeah, thanks. But, you know, I love your lights. And did you know that I have a chandelier that is just of lights She brings up a chandelier and it's just lights. She's like, it's over 100 years old. And Betty is over here talking shit. She is so mad right now. She's just like, oh, Martha May, blah, blah, blah. She's doing all this stuff. But I'm going to win this year. And then Martha comes out. She's just like, but, you know, this is brand new. And she pulls off a sheet off of this machine. And I've got to be honest, when I was a kid, I was like, no way. What is this? She, like, gets low, crouches down, and starts shooting lights onto her ceiling. And it's the craziest unhinged thing. And Betty's over there crying like she's about to fall off the fucking roof because she's just so just in awe of what she's seeing. And then this is the kicker. This is what makes the scene perfect. After the lights are on the roof on Martha May's house, she walks over, tip-tops over, and then she's like, whew. So like she just blows on the thing, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, that started up a lot of shit that happened to kids at that time. That was so crazy. But yeah, Martha May Whovier, what a gem, what a treat. Like, she changed lives. She altered trajectories. Like, she was gorgeous. I get why Betty Lou is mad, but I will never side with her over Martha May Whovier. Anyway, the last thing she does is like, well, good night. And she just walks inside. That's the end of the scene. And then you're right back to talking to the Grinch. It is so funny. It is so simple. Like, they didn't have to introduce her then. And they definitely didn't have to introduce her that way. So, look, Ron, I'm glad you did it. It's just crazy what happened. But anyway, back to the Grinch. Unfortunately, he is not Martha May Whovier. And, you know, I personally missed her after the transition. But, so he's in his house. You kind of get the part where he's grousing and just being mean towards Whoville. But there's this added thing where instead of just staring them down, he's like reading off in a dictionary, not a dictionary, excuse me, a phone book, an alphabetical phone book, and he's alphabetically cursing every single Who down in Whoville. And just, he keeps doing that. That's his thing. It's then that you realize he's kind of lonely, isn't he? Nobody's coming up there. Nobody's trying to get his number or call him or text him. He's just up there by himself with his dog, who barely tolerates him. Like, to be fair, Max actually does want to have some kind of loving relationship with him, but the Grinch isn't having it. He'd rather just the dog be mean or just not be around. But Max is trying to be his friend. That's one thing that changes with the adaptations, you know, because Max in the other movies either doesn't put up with the Grinch's shit, or he's scared of the Grinch. Up until the end when he learns how to love, of course. But, you know, Max is there for him. Max goes along with his bits. Max helps him scare away teenagers who try to go up there and make out, stuff like that. So he's there for him. But I feel like Max knows that he can't keep doing this. So you get a montage of him going through his house alone and basically talking to himself because the dog isn't talking to him. You find out that he has a fax machine and a phone for that matter, but the message on the phone is like the scariest shit in the world. Like, all he says is, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. Like, I don't know why that's stuck in my head, but it's always been stuck in my head, and it always makes me laugh, because if I did voicemail and stuff like that, that's something I'd want on my voicemail. But yeah, from there, he's just like, am I only eating because I'm bored? And it kind of just cuts to the next day, basically, where we see Cindy Lou. She's decided to take it upon herself because she knows that the Grinch exists. Apparently, like, everyone was pretending he didn't, but she saw him, she knows. So she decides to take it upon herself to start asking questions, being just that journalist. Actually, why am I talking about this when I forgot to talk about, we do cut to Cindy Lou, and she is singing a song. She is singing a song about Christmas and asking where it is. She's just like, where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? That. She's always doing that. And let me tell you something. Solid banger. A bop. A jam. Loved it every time. Love when she sang it. Love when I think, I'm gonna guess. I think Mariah Carey was on the track for this one. I believe she was a part of that. I think she sang the rendition that you hear at the ending. But she was singing. And then she's like, you know what? I'm inspired. Let me take it upon myself to do some investigative journalism and figure out who or what the Grinch is. So she sets off. She brings a recorder with her and she finds every single person who knows that this like Grinch exists. She goes to these two old lesbians. They're just like, oh my god, the Grinch. Let me tell you about him. We were all at this crazy party, and his stork, the thing is, they don't really have storks. They have babies floating around on umbrellas in little baskets. There are no storks involved. They are just sent off in the wind. And the Grinch's umbrella basket thing goes into a tree. And the two lesbians come out and they find him. He's crying in the tree. They're too old to have their own children, so they take him in. And they were just like, oh, he was a darling. He was a treat. Like, look behind me. Do you see him? He's adorable. This is the original Baby Yoda. Like, look at him. Like, they didn't have to make him that cute. I can see why the old lesbians brought him in. But yeah, they start telling Cindy Lou about his origins, basically how he was enthusiastic about Christmas originally. You remember the iconic scene where he bites the head off of Santa plate? Like, it's not even the cookie, it's just Santa plate. And they're just like, you know, maybe he's a little beast. And, you know, but they still treat him like their own son. So, next you cut to Martha May Huvier, who, you know, Martha May Huvier. And she's just like, oh, the Grinch? You know, we went to school together. You know, I wasn't interested in dating or looking at other boys, but then you see that she was definitely eyeing the Grinch. She was just like, okay. Like, to be honest, it was kind of weird since they were like 8. She was kind of like Rouge the batting it up, you know? But, yeah, she was just acting like she didn't have a crush on the Grinch, but she very much did. And then, I haven't mentioned him yet, but there's a mayor of Whoville. You know, for as many times as I've watched this movie, I do not know this man's name. It's gonna come to me, but for now, I'm gonna call him the mayor of Whoville. If I remember his name, I'll scream it out, I promise. But the mayor of Whoville, he's involved in the interview process too, because Cindy Lou keeps asking questions about the Grinch, and he's the #1 hater of the Grinch, and he wants people to shut up about the Grinch. So he's just like, you know what, I'm going to answer your questions because I want you to understand that the Grinch is not somebody you mess with. So he's just like, yeah, let me tell you about the Grinch. He was a little bitch. He didn't understand boundaries. He was coming on my girl. Didn't like that. Don't like him. And he was just talking so much shit. But there's also a flashback that plays that just shows you that he was just bullying the fuck out of the Grinch because he was hairy and he had a beard at 8. It's just kind of weird that she was interviewing everyone around the Grinch rather than the Grinch himself initially. But I'll play it up to her not being able to get in contact with him at the moment. But she's finding out background information. And at one point, the old ladies were just like, yeah, so He ran away, and that really, like, that broke Cindy's heart. Like, she started crying. Come to find out that, the Grinch, super excited about Christmas, wanted to get Martha May Huvier a lovely gift. Something he made from his heart. And this only happened because there was one scene where she was like licking on a lollipop and just being like, I love Christmas. My favorite colors are red and green. And she's like caressing the Grinch's like cheek when she says that. And that pig kid, I'm gonna call him the pig kid because he's the mayor. He's just like, hey, you think you have a chance with her? You have a beard and you're only 8 years old. I said that backwards, but he got mad. The Grinch was like, oh man. He goes home, but he's still determined he's gonna make her the most lovely gift on the planet. Ends up just making an angel tree topper out of scrap metal and family heirlooms, which, to be honest, it just shows a side of the Grinch that you don't see in any other adaptation, where you realize he's very handy. He's really good at building stuff, and he's really good at being creative and coming up with all these evil schemes and doing this stuff. But like, that's like if you're an artist but evil, basically, is what the Grinch is. And he's a misunderstood artist. That's what this all meant. I should have known that. Now that I'm older, I understand that. He's a misunderstood artist. Wow. He's just like Banksy, honestly. Anyway, so all that happened, come to find out that he decided he was going to shave his face because what that pig mayor said to him really just affected him. Really messed with his self-confidence. So he tries to shave. The next day at school, they're passing out the gifts. He shows up with a paper bag on his head. Teacher's like, why do you have a paper bag on your head? Take it off. He's doing everything possible not to get that paper bag off his head, show his face. At one point, his shoe's in the way. And eventually, they convince him to move it. And he just has all these nicks and cuts from, like, shaving. To be honest, shaving didn't even do anything. Like, he was still hairy. But you kind of then realize he has a peanut head. And also that he has no ears. And I don't understand how anatomy works with the Grinch or the Who's now that I think about it. But whatever. But the point is, he's embarrassing himself. He had already presented his gift to Martha May Huvier. And the pig mayor, he said, what a hideodorous gift. And I always remembered that word hideodorous because it could have been a real world. Like, it could have been a word that they could have actually used. It could have been that. But no, hideodorous. I'm sure that's in the dictionary somewhere. But he gets so mad, he gets so embarrassed, everyone's laughing at him, except Martha May Huvier, by the way. She's not laughing, and she's very strictly not laughing. And he gets so mad that he just picks up the tree, and like they cut back to the like present, and they're just like he the fury, the anger, and then Martha May's just like the muscle. Always loved that part. Obsessed with her. But cuts back, Grinch is just throwing the tree. He's just like, I hate Christmas! And he just throws it. And then this is when Cindy Lou actually cries. Because Martha May's just like, it was a sad day. We lost him. It just wasn't a kind Christmas. She didn't say any of that. She was just really sad that he left. And Cindy Lou felt that. She was like, aw, no. And then that's when the Grinch is like, I'm evil. He just becomes evil. And not even really evil. He's just mad. And he goes up to his cave in the mountain, and that's where he stays for the next 1 billion years. Because I don't know how old any of these people are in comparison to when they were 8 years old. Now, some of you may have noticed I've mixed up events. I've done events out of order. Most of you probably didn't even care that I did that. I do, though. So we're going to go ahead and circle round. We're going to, from now on, we're going to go in order. So, after all of this, after the backstory and the Grinching, we're in town square now. They're doing the jubilation. They're gonna try and crown the big who, the who that's so Christmas that everyone is less Christmas than them. And the mayor, once again, still not sure what his name is. I'm still gonna call him Pig Mayor. Pig Mayor is just like, oh, do we have any nominees for the big who guy? And Cindy Lou, out of nowhere, is just like, I nominate the Grinch! Everyone's looking at her. Everyone's scandalized. They're just like, the Grinch? The Grinch? The Grinch? The Grinch? Who's the Grinch? The Grinch? And the Who Mayor, the Pig Mayor, is just like, everybody stop. Cindy Lou, come here. Talk to me about it. Like, tell me what you're talking about. And she's just like, yeah, I'd like to nominate the Grinch. Oh, you can't nominate the Grinch. It's against the rules. What rules are there that I can't nominate the Grinch? Then the Pig Mayor pulls out this big-ass book, starts flipping through it, is just like, here we go. So, the Grinch is a bitch, and he won't be here in a cinch. And she knows he made some shit up. So, she's just like, yeah, but here's the actual rule. Any fucking guy who wants to participate in this can be nominated. If I can get the Grinch to participate and want to come down here, he can be a nominee. And the Who Pig Mayor is just like, fuck. She got me on that one. Okay, go ahead and bring him down here. I bet you can't. And she's just like, okay, I will. And then she makes her way up to the mountain by herself. Probably a 2-year-old. By the time she gets up there, the Grinch is like trying to kill himself essentially because the Who's are making so much noise that he can't block it out. So he has this giant ass like monkey with the cymbals and he's having it like crush his head with the cymbals. That's why I said that, because any other time that would have just took a motherfucker out, but he's just standing there taking it. And she sneaks in. Nobody said anything until now. She's just like, hello? Hello? And the Grinch is just like, I don't like you being here. So he approaches her disrespectfully, by the way. He disrespectfully approaches her. And he's just like, why are you here? Are you not afraid of me? And she's just like, I'm here to invite you to the jubilation. You have been a nominee. You are now nominated. I am nominating you to be the big who guy. And the Grinch doesn't even know what the big who guy is. He's just like, oh, is that an award of some kind? Is it a cash prize? And she's like, maybe. So he's just like, fuck it. Maybe I will be down there. Who knows? And she's just like, cool. So will you be down there? And then he's like, no. And he pulls a lever and sends her to hell. Everyone sees him do that in the theater. Obviously, he ends up going down there. Because, Max, despite him just being a dog, he wants to encourage Grinch to get out and socialize. So he tricks him into going down there by also pulling the lever and sending him to hell. Which is, in fact, a garbage chute that works backwards. So he's just sucked right into the town, where Cindy Lou also ended up. But he shows up after deciding on an outfit. He just stole it off a yodeling man. And that's his outfit. He shows up. Nobody expects him to show up. Apparently there were no more nominees. So he became the big who guy. And everyone's just giving him gifts. Doing all this funky shit. He's just like, whoa. What's happening here? Why is it happening to me? Y'all didn't care about me 2 days ago, but now I'm the big who guy. I'm the one you all are talking to. And they're just like, yeah, you're the big who guy. You won, apparently. So they're just like, wow, Here comes the Grinch, the big who guy. They start force feeding him brownies, pudding, eggnog, figgy stuff, figgy pudding for real. Like there's pudding and there's figgy pudding, two different things. So one guy said that it wasn't pudding, and he was just like, what the fuck is it then? That always made me laugh. But he's just getting treated like a prince. Everyone's being nice to him. At one point, they're doing sack races, and he just beats the shit out of the kids that were in the competition. He didn't give a fuck about them kids. And he won that too. So, yeah, everybody's having a good time. Everyone's like, yeah, the Grinch, the big who guy, woo! And at one point, they're just like, all right, gather around. It's time for the big who gift exchange. And the Grinch is like, I didn't bring nothing. It's like, don't worry about it. We brought something for you. So everybody's gathering around in a circle, standing next to people they like, people they don't like, people they don't care about. And they're just passing along gifts. At one point, the mayor passes his gift to the Grinch. And he's just like, I got this specifically for you, buddy. It is just going to bring back good old memories. And the Grinch opens it, and it's the same exact razor he used to try and shave. He even starts it up and everything to look at it. And everyone's laughing, because apparently everybody knows this story except Cindy Lou Who. And they're just like, Christmas memory, ha 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 ha. And then the pig mayor turns to Martha May, and he's just like, but here's a serious gift. Apparently, this is the time to propose, because he pulls out the biggest rock I ever seen on a ring, and he's just like, Martha May Huvier, would you like to marry me? And Martha May is just standing there, aghast. I would be too. We're at a party, and he's out here trying to propose. We're doing a gift exchange, and he's out here trying to propose. What if that gift didn't get back to her? But whatever. So she's just standing there, and she's just like, oh, and then he's like, act now. If you say yes, I'll throw in a brand new car. And I don't know about anybody else, but if a man proposed to me in front of my friends and family and people I don't even know at a party in public, and he added the stipulation that if I said yes, he would give me a car, I would kill him in front of everybody and throw his body into a river. But Martha May, a kinder and gentler woman than any woman I've ever met, she instead says, you know, the car is nice. She does not say yes to this man. She does not say no. She is just saying the car is nice. The ring is beautiful. Nothing else. But then the Grinch shows up. He's causing issues. He scratches the paint of the car with a nail that I didn't know his Grinchy fingers had. And he's just like, well, now isn't that nice? And then all of a sudden, he just lets out a reason why you suck speech. And he's just talking about how people are wasting food, wasting plastic. You're wasting horses that you ride around for a couple days, and then you get tired of it, and then you send it off to get turned into glue. And everyone's gasping and guffawing. They're just like, hello? What the hell, Grinch? You are the big who guy. And the Grinch said, fuck your big who guy. You all can take this mistletoe and kiss my ass. And everyone just went crazy, and so did the Grinch, because as soon as he did that, people are screaming, crying. He takes the razor that he just received from the pig mayor and just straight up just turns it on, zip, just right over the mayor's head, makes him half bald in the middle, just right in the middle, shaved him bald. And he's starting to scream and cry, throws a razor, starts wreaking havoc on Whoville. Literally just starts exploding shit. Everything. Just destroyed. At one point, he kills the tree in the middle of the square, just destroys it completely, and he's setting things on fire, killing smaller Who's, doing all this stuff, and then he's like, my work here is done, goodbye. And then once again, he goes into the garbage chute and goes the right way, because apparently his mountain is made of garbage, and that's where it all goes. But he's just gone. And then everybody is looking at Cindy Lou. And she's just like, tearfully, just like, I just wanted everyone to have a good Christmas. Just heartbreaking. She's the only one in the movie that actually tried to do anything. So, obviously, the Grinch is not happy. In fact, I would go so far as to say he is mad. He's never trusting any bitches again. He don't want to talk to nobody again. And he's like, you know what? I'm calling Christmas off. Christmas is canceled. We're no longer doing Christmas. Max is over in the corner celebrating Christmas by himself. But he stops doing that to talk to the Grinch, figure out what's going on with him. And he's just like, what do you mean there's no more Christmas, Grinch? What do you mean by that? And the Grinch is just like, listen to me. I don't fucking care no more. I'm taking the Christmas away. No more Christmas. They are no longer allowed to have that Christmas. So Max is just like, is okay? What do you mean you just... And then all of a sudden, a montage starts. He's just like, I'm taking it. Everybody's going down. I don't give a fuck. He starts making the outfit. He starts making the sleigh. He starts getting Max dressed up. Like, this is what I was talking about before. He's very creative. He's very handy. He's very good at making things. And I wish that he'd use that towards good. But he's an evil artist. And nobody seems to understand that about him. I think if he put his energy into making, like, junk pieces, like, you know, how they make sculptures out of garbage, he'd probably have a better career. People would like him more. Anyway, but yeah, so he's doing the montage, he's getting started on building shit and sewing shit, and the most iconic version of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch is playing in the background. Oh my god, it's so good. And everybody knows the song. My favorite part of this version is when he, like, the singer goes, your brain is full of spiders, you've got garlic in your soul. That specific part where he goes, soul. Always loved that part. It just caught my whole family off guard. Every time he sang it like that, we started laughing. It's just so many pieces of this show, just by itself, out of context, I feel like it could fuel 100 laughs. Every single second is a joke. Just the absurdity of the situation. The fact that this green man is doing Christmas stuff but evil. Like, it's so good. It's so iconic. It just brings families together. My whole family loves the Grinch. He is, like, you know how some people have obsessions with, like, Jack Frost or Santa Claus or something like that? The Grinch is our guy. We are a Grinch household here. Everything is the Grinch. But yeah, now he's off. He's all ready to go. He's got engines in the fucking sleigh. No reindeer. Max is there, but he's not doing the job. Like, in the original, Max actually did pull the sleigh, to the point that it was just sliding down the fucking slope and heading into Whoville. But in this version, they don't bother with that. They make the fucking sleigh a car, which is another thing. The Grinch is apparently a mechanic and an engineer and all these things that he can do. He just made the sleigh a car. A flying car. And he's just like, Max, just wear the fucking antler because you have to. The original one wore it, so you have to wear it too. And we're just going to drive down to Whoville and take care of this. So they drive down to Whoville. They start stealing shit. One by one. Like, it's like the original story, you know, it has a song and everybody's doing what they need to do. Well, everybody, I mean the Grinch, everybody else is sleeping. Just sleeping the hell away. And he's just stealing right from under their noses. And it's funny, they keep the iconic part where Cindy Lou wakes up and finds that Santa is fucking around in her living room. She's just like, Santa, is that you? Santa, you know, the Grinch. He's just like, oh, man. And he's just like, no, it's me. I'm taking this tree because one of the lights won't light. So I'm going to take it up there and fix it and bring it back here. And then she's like, oh, okay. Sounds cool. But hey, after you leave, could you go ahead and pay the Grinch a visit? I'm sure he needs it. That is not in the original, but this is the point. Another good thing about this movie, fleshing Cindy Lou out, is that you realize she's very empathetic. She already felt what the Grinch was feeling, and she continues to feel for him, even after he did in fact destroy the city. They rebuilt it, everything was fine, but he didn't destroy the city. And it was kind of crazy that he did that. But Cindy Lou, even though the whole town hates her now, even though Christmas was almost ruined, quote unquote, she still wants to extend kindness towards the Grinch. And for a brief moment, he's just like, that kid. Really sweet. Bad judge of character. And he picks up the tree, continues stealing. Everybody is still asleep. I don't know how they're sleeping through this. I would be wide awake if I heard somebody rummaging through them stuff. Like, he didn't leave anything, not even a crumb for a mouse. So I'm just going to blast through the rest of it because it usually, it usually just follows the regular story. Like, he succeeds, he packs up Christmas, puts it on his sleigh. It's a giant mountain of Christmas. And he goes right back up to his house where he's going to toss everything off and destroy Christmas and end Christmas. Nobody cares. And then he's just going to be like, yeah, haha. Now I'm going to hear the Who's just go boo-hoo, boo-hoo. And it's going to be music to my ears. And Max is just like, I don't know about this one, Grinch, but all right. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for you. But I think you're doing the wrong thing. But this is what changes his mind. When he waits, he's listening out to hear if they're crying, to hear the cue basically for him to toss Christmas away. He thought he would hear them crying, but instead they start singing. They're just like, Christmas is today. It's not that bad. We're all here. We all have our family. We're fine. Nobody got hurt. It's all about Christmas. And I feel like we lost that. We lost the vision. We lost the plot. Christmas wasn't about all the doohickeys and the doodads. It was about family and being together with everyone and surrounding ourselves with warmth and love. And the mayor, it takes some time to convince him that's what Christmas is about. He's just like, man, that Grinch, he stole everything. Christmas is ruined. And Lou, my good friend Lou, he's just like, nah, it's not canceled. It's not even ruined. Everything's fine. So they all hold hands and they just start singing. Fa hoo fore da hoo dore, welcome Christmas, Christmas cheer. That kind of thing. And then the Grinch is hearing that and he's just like, what? I stole all their gifts. I stole their garlands and roast beefs. And all these things, and they're still out there singing and holding hands and welcoming Christmas. Why? And he, all of a sudden, by himself, he's just like, maybe Christmas wasn't about the gifts or the roast beefs or any of that shit that they bought. Huh. And then he suddenly has a heart attack. Turns out, when you learn what Christmas is actually about, your heart grows. And his heart was like down 100 sizes. Like, it was a prune. I don't know how he was circulating blood. But as soon as he learned the true meaning of Christmas, his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And sizes are apparently very big because his prune heart turned into just this elephant heart of just love and warmth and all this stuff. And he was I don't know why they did this in the live action one, but he was convulsing and crying. He was just like, Max, help me, I need help. And Max did not help him because he is a dog. And he doesn't have thumbs, he can't get him up off the floor. But he's just like letting the emotions flow into him. And I gotta be honest, Jim Carrey was acting his ass off. He put his whole ass into that role. He said, yes, let me sit down for 8 hours while you put on this prosthesis, and I will go out there and act. I don't care what's in the script. I am ad-libbing things. I am doing my own stunts. I am figuring this shit out on my own. I watched the original Grinch. I can do the Grinch. And he just bawling on the floor, rolling, saying, ah, 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 just really feeling it. And eventually it stops, and he's just like, wow, I'm Christmas. I know what Christmas is. And because he's doing all this wild convulsing, the sled starts to move. And he's just like, I mean, yeah, it'll fall off, but you know, they didn't care about the stuff anymore. So like, I feel like it doesn't matter if it falls. Christmas is still here. They're still celebrating Christmas. It's whatever. But Cindy Lou is on the sleigh. At one point, she had just left the festivities to go up to the mountain really quick, apparently. Oh, wait, I forgot she uses the garbage chute. That's instant. That's basically fast travel in that world. But she's up there. She was looking for the Grinch, and she climbed up on the sleigh, apparently, up at the top, and she's just like, hi, Mr. Grinch. And the Grinch he's just like, Cindy Lou? What are you doing up there? And Cindy Lou is just immediately like, I came to see you, Mr. Grinch. I came to see you. And the Grinch is just, he's just so taken by this little girl. He just adores her. And he's just like, aw. He does this really cute smile that I like. And they just smile at each other, and you know, at one point they realize the sleigh is just going off the mountain with her on it, and they're just like, oh, whoa, wait, whoa. And he's trying to grab on. He's like, I got you, Cindy Lou, I got you. And, oh my God, it's so scary. But by the end, remember when he picked up the tree in his elementary school class and threw it? He combines that strength with his newfound adult strength, and he's able to lift the sleigh over his head with everything on it, including Cindy Lou, and place it right back on the mountain safely. There they are. And catches her. They're just like, yeah, hey girl, how's it going? And she at one point is just like, we gotta get Christmas back to the town. And he's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, you're gonna return Christmas, my man. You gotta go do that. So the Grinch, the dog, and Cindy Lou get on the sleigh and they head out. But not before Cindy Lou gives him a little peck on the cheek, and she's just like, wow. And he's like, I know, it's clammy. And then she's like, no, it's like hairy, disgusting. What is it? And then she's just like, your cheek is warm. And it's just so cute. And I'm like, aw, they're friends. Aw. They were always on the same page. They were always there for each other. They've known each other for probably just maybe 4 days. But they connected. And that's what he really wanted. He wanted to connect with people. Trying to be the big who guy didn't get him what he wanted with that. But actually being with Cindy Lou and hearing her out and her hearing him out, that's what he wanted, and he got that. So they get into the sleigh and they drive off really fast. Apparently the brakes stop working, and they just burst into town. Luhu almost dies. Basically, as soon as he goes into town, he admits, yeah, I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas. That's me. I am her. And everyone's like, yes, whoa. But, like, they seem hesitant to even do anything about him. The fucking mayor, Augustus Mayhew, by the way, I remembered his name just now, and he was just like, officer, arrest him, arrest the Grinch. And the police officer, probably one of the only good cops, he was just like, yeah, he stole Christmas, but he also brought it back, so there's no harm done. And nobody gets it, but they're just like, yeah, I guess so, that's fine, we don't need to arrest the Grinch. The Grinch did come back, and he did apologize at that moment. And everyone was just like, yeah, okay. Except for the mayor, he's still just like, why would you trust him? He literally destroyed the town. We let him in, and he destroyed the town. And Martha May slides off the sleigh for some reason. Was she stolen with the rest of the stuff? But whatever, she's just like, well, I have something to say to you, Augustus who, or whatever. And she just slides down. She's like, wow! And she walks up, adjusts her chest. Always got me as a kid. But she adjusts herself, and then she's just like, you can have this back. The one I love isn't you. It's him. And she very obviously turns her attention to the Grinch. But the Grinch still just looks around at everything. He's looking at trees. He's looking at the dog. He's just like, me? And she's like, yeah. Oh, okay. And then he starts cheering and hollering and laughing. He doesn't kill the mayor. Nobody does, really. The mayor seems to just be flabbergasted. He hates what just happened. He is just like, absolutely not. And he's just like, can somebody please do something about this? And his little toady, I don't even know his fucking name, don't like him, he just shaves his head down the middle like the mayor did. And I guess that's some kind of gay proposal, because they just end up being together for the rest of the movie. And with that comes the finale, where everyone's holding hands. They start singing the Hahu Fores Dahu Dore song. And they're welcoming Christmas. Grinch doesn't know the words because he's never sang it before. But they all help him sing the song, and it's very nice. And then they end it with the scene where they're all at the table together, and the Grinch gets to carve the roast beast. And that's it. That is the Grinch 2000. Literally, they added some extra parts in the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and the end is actually closer to how it is in the original. But, Sidney Lu's not involved in the original stuff. But, he steals Christmas. He has an epiphany. He gives Christmas back. He carves the roast beast. And altogether, as a product and rewatching it, I realized that there is nothing wrong with this movie in any way. This is a fun movie. This isn't even like a turn off your brain and enjoy it. You can turn on your brain and enjoy this movie. Yes, it's absurd, but it's the Grinch in live action. If you're expecting some kind of Citizen Kane moment, you're not going to find it here. But you're going to find a damn good holiday movie. This is the Grinch. And you know what? I just felt like they couldn't mess this up. I think this movie is earnest. It's expensive. It's beautifully crafted. Martha May Whovier is one of the best characters ever created. And she has banger outfits every time she comes on screen. Like, yeah, it's a Dr. Seuss movie. But you can't pretend or you can't act like it's the worst movie ever made. There's heart here. There was no reason they had to make this movie. I don't even feel like it was a cash grab. But it's like they just put too much work into it for it to just be lazy slop. There's something here. And I think anybody could have enjoyed this movie. Anybody could have gotten something out of it. So let me leave you with this. This Christmas, or you know what, any holiday you celebrate for this season, go and watch The Grinch. I feel like more than ever, the message resonates with us. Especially with how shit's been going as we come close to the end of the year. It's not looking great. So, just sit back, watch this stupid movie, and enjoy yourself. Because honestly, we all need to just embrace the little Grinch in us and become the Grinch that changes his heart. So, this is the end of the video. I just want to thank you guys for actually watching it and getting this far. This is the first video I'm doing without a script, so let me know how you feel about a more free-form discussion with me, because I don't know, I thought the script made me sound too stiff. Let me know in the comments. But for now, I'm just gonna leave you with this. Have a happy holiday, whatever you decide to celebrate. I'm gonna lay down and really just think about Martha May Whovier. Probably go to bed. Take care.